Snowboarding is an extreme sport, and with that comes injuries. As a doctor of physical therapy, I see injuries on a daily basis. Now, based on my experience, I'm going to provide my suggestions on how you can keep riding all season long. Stay tuned. Before we dive in, my name is Mark. I'm a doctor of physical therapy and snowboard instructor at the glorious Mount Bachelor in Bend, Oregon, along with my wife, who is a licensed massage therapist, certified yoga instructor, high school health teacher. We do all of this for snowboarders to keep you riding until you are 70 plus years old. So I'm not gonna lie, that title is a bit clickbaity, but I'm okay with that. Injury is impossible to prevent. Sometimes it happens. What I mean by that is if you move, you're probably gonna get injured at some point in your life. This could be something as simple as stepping wrong off of a curb. Some things are just out of our control. Whether that is a shark in the water that you don't see, a branch that hits you out of nowhere, a child that rides in front of you accidentally. Things happen, but that's okay. Like I always say, we look at snowboarding on the risk scale. We try to minimize that risk. It's impossible to diminish altogether. But if you take precautions, if you train for it, if you are fully prepared going in, you can reduce that risk. So without further ado, let's dive into my suggestions through my experience on how you can keep riding injury-free all season long, or at least minimize it. Number one, train for it. Yes, it is the low-hanging fruit here. And what do I mean by that? So train for it. Strength, mobility, flexibility, endurance, multi-directional speed and agility, all of it. It allows you to snowboard longer, faster, stronger. Most importantly, it allows you to make split-second decisions when you need it most. Now, if someone is riding in front of you and you need to come to a complete stop, if you need to initiate your edge to get out of the way, if you need to make a maneuver mid-air, if your approach, takeoff are great and you're in the air and your balance is off, those are the times where training really come into play. When we're training for snowboarding, I want to give the same intensity off the mountain as you would on the mountain. So that means adding the right resistance, adding the right intensity, taking shorter rest breaks, and having a goal overall. It makes the season way more fun, it makes the day way more fun, and it allows you to progress a little bit more reasonably. This is a perfect plug for our programs. Yes, we do have programs. I encourage you to check them out. It is my expertise, it is Sarah's expertise, packaged into one easy to follow program to allow you to progress and strengthen and change your life on and off the mountain. Check them out. I promise you won't be disappointed. Number two, know thy limitations. So for many of you who know the mountain code, check that out. It's pretty self-explanatory, but know your limitations. Do you need to follow or watch someone perform the trick or watch their line first? Do you need to see their takeoff first? How much speed do they have going off of the jump, going onto the rail? Know your limitations. Another great suggestion is try it off the mountain first. So if you're trying a new grab, lie on the carpet with your board strapped on, see if you can actually do it first. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different, a lot different. Make sure you can try it off the mountain. Number three, choose your conditions wisely. So I see this really often. Someone wants to try something new, they want to progress, but maybe it's not the day to do it. Maybe it's extra icy, maybe there's low visibility, maybe there's something in play with the conditions that it's dust on crust. Maybe it's not the time for you to be trying something new. Maybe you need to focus just on carving or stay on the groomers or watch someone else try it first. Make sure to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and it gives us motivation to continue putting out great content like this. Number four, know when to call it. Yeah, I know this one is really tough, especially if you're having a great day, you're really hyped, you're with friends. You do need to know when to call it. So if you're gonna try something new in the park, in the side country, I always recommend doing it after a nice warm up, after a couple of laps. Try it in the morning when you're strong, when you're fresh, versus later in the day. Nothing good happens after 2 p.m. in the park. And this always falls back to last call. Obviously, there's nothing behind calling the last run. It's all in the mind, but it's also a coincidence that a lot of injuries happen later in the day or when someone calls it. Okay, number five, listen to your body. So this kind of goes concurrently with number four, but know when you're fatigued, know when it's time to call it, know when it's time to go home. Fatigue is the number one reason why many people get injured on the mountain. So knowing when you're tired is the time to leave. You can always come back. The mountain's not going anywhere, but it's a great way to stay stay injury-free all season long. Number 6, nutrition and hydration. Yes, this is not the time to be sticking to your diet. You are flying through calories on the mountain again. Snowboarding is an extreme sport. You are at high elevation. Your body is working at its peak to try to stay in its equilibrium, perform at its highest. This is the time to get calories, to make sure you're hydrated. Nice plug for Element. To be able to perform at your best, you need to fuel at your best. Lastly, number 7, do your research and reach out to those who are more knowledgeable. So if you're trying to progress on a certain skill, there's tons of free resources on YouTube, on Google, wherever it is. You can watch videos on how to do it properly. If you are trying to improve and hone in on your diet, nutrition on the mountain, there are registered dietitians. If you're trying to rehab properly from an injury so you can be at your best, you have experts like myself who can help you and guide you along the way. So this is by no means an exhaustive list, but I hope that this helps. It definitely helps myself, and through my experience has kept me injury-free for quite a while. In saying that, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to comment below. What has helped you in the past stay injury-free? And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.